In Theodore Dreiser's classic novel, Sister Carrie, the eponymous protagonist moves from the country to the city of Chicago at the beginning of the 20th century. She encountered a new world of tram cars, tall buildings, nightlife. Cities at the start of the 20th century had traditional urban pleasures like restaurants and theaters, and new innovations like skyscrapers and electricity that had yet to reach the countryside. In the pre-automobile era, large cities offered electric streetcars, omnibuses, and elevated railroads. Rural dwellers moved by foot or hoof. Electricity coursed through thousands of cables which lit the city at night. Investments in water, sewers, and aqueducts, including the spectacular reversal of the Chicago River, made cities considerably less deadly by 1900. And perhaps the most important change for a young person like Carrie? The city was far more exciting than the countryside. Broadcast radio and TV hadn't been invented. Movies were just beginning, and movie theaters, Nickelodeons, were largely urban. Life in an isolated rural home could be more than a little dull. The countryside was sparsely populated, and social life mostly congregated around the family and the church. The high population density of cities offered far more varied social opportunities, which allowed Carrie plenty of chances to get into mischief. Early 20th century cities also offered economic opportunity. Urban factories often had brutal conditions. 146 New Yorkers died in the Triangle Shirtwaist Factory fire of 1911. But for most, higher urban wages provided a welcome escape from rural poverty. And what if the novel were updated and Carrie had left the countryside in the middle of the 20th century? She might still go to the city for work, but she could also end up living in the suburbs. The post-World War II American dream conjured images of white picket fences, well-trimmed lawns, and glossy Buicks. The city no longer held such a clear infrastructure advantage. By 1950, non-urban locations had electricity at nearly comparable rates, thanks in part to the federal government's rural electrification program. Post-war public investment often abetted de-urbanization. Over these 50 years, the automobile became a great equalizer. Now getting around the country was just as easy as the city. Again, federal investment, this time in highways, played a role. If anything, automobile congestion in the city was starting to give low-density travel a distinct advantage. And the urban entertainment edge had also fallen. Radio, TVs, and movie theaters brought a myriad of entertainment options to everyone in the U.S., not just urbanites. Performers like Jack Benny and Milton Berle, who had cut their teeth on vaudeville stages like New York City's Palace Theater, were now beamed into millions of homes. If 19th century technological change was centripetal, pulling people into city centers, mid-20th century technological change was centrifugal, pushing people away. But if Carrie came to the city in the 21st century, where would she go to seek fun and excitement? Once again, if she was looking for friends and pleasure, she might choose the dense urban core. The sharing economy, epitomized by Airbnb, Lyft, and Uber, which seeks to take advantage of unused rooms and cars, is at its most effective where population density is high. Apps like Yelp let city dwellers easily find a restaurant within walking distance. Websites like Craigslist make it simple to buy and sell goods with neighbors. Technology in the 21st century takes advantage of the density of cities to create a highly effective marketplace. Even the ability to work remotely hasn't stopped cities from again exerting their centripetal power. What will the future hold for Sister Carrie and her descendants? Maybe she will live physically on a farm and virtually in a city. But I suspect that interacting digitally will never replace the very real pleasures of being with very real people.